Hi friends, welcome again in the video tutorial, and in this video we'll learn about the cluster and outlier analysis using Anselin local Moran's I statistics. It's a kind of spatial statistics, and this video is gonna help us because this will give us the result on the map. So it's good for mapping, and this technique we can use in different types of data. Here I will use the settlement data, especially the urban centers of Ethiopia, and it's a kind of spatial statistics. It's very useful, so we'll go for it. And down something about me, I'm Dr. Zubair Islam, working in the Department of Geography at Igrat University. So I'm open with my software here. Left hand side is the table of content and right hand side is the toolbox. And the data which I will use will belong to Ethiopia. And let me introduce you some data here. The data I'm using is this, and in this data the information is given of the urban centers, and these dark brown color polygons are showing you the urban centers, and the red color is showing you the dense urban clusters, green color is showing you the suburban areas, and thereafter these are the rural clusters, and the dark gray color is showing you the low density rural areas, and light gray color is showing you the very low density rural area. Very low density means below than 50 persons per square kilometer. But in case of urban centers, here the population density is more than 1,500 persons per square kilometer, and in the urban centers the clustering is more than 50,000 people. So what I have done is I have taken the urban centers only, and what I did is here these are the urban centers. Okay, you can see here I have taken the urban centers only. So these urban centers are having if you will see the attribute, it is having the area. So we will take this attribute area for our analysis, and if you will see zoom to layer, so you will find these are the urban centers which are having the clusters of above 50,000 of the population. And as you can see, the first hand observation, you can understand that of course the data is of cluster type, which we have seen in the earlier videos also. But now we'll go for some mapping. Okay, and for this very purpose, as I have already told you, that we are going to study the cluster and outlier analysis using Anselin local Moran's I statistic. So the tool I'm gonna use to is the mapping cluster, and thereafter this is the first tool under the mapping cluster. When you will see this tool, and here it needs the input feature. So the input feature is the UCT clip here, because it is clipped to Ethiopia boundary, and the input field is the shape area. And I have made a video, a detailed video, which will give you much more idea about the concept, what is the concept of spatial relationship here, and how you can give. There are different concepts are given here: the inverse distance squared, fixed distance, zone of indifference, and you can make the spatial width from the file also. So here the important thing is that when there is analysis, the analysis should have the sufficient neighbors. It should analysis should include the sufficient neighbors here. So the first of all, what I want is you just see the result. Okay, I'm leaving all these things here as it is, and just see the result. Okay, so here is this is the result here, and you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes given here. And now just see what is the result given in the open attribute table. So as you can see here, we are getting the local Moran's I index, this one here, that is the local Moran I index. We are getting the Z score, we are getting the p values here. Based on the p values, we are getting the CO type here, and CO, this is cluster outlier type, and for this analysis, how many neighbors are used for individual urban centers. Suppose in this case here, you can see 20 neighbors are used. So it has given the information of the neighbors also. So based on this information, you will be sure that okay, it has used minimum one neighbor and maximum 121 neighbors. So, and this is the cluster and outlier type here given. Okay, so how these cluster and outlier types are given? How? What is the, because in the mapping you will see the mapping is done for using this attribute. Okay, so this attribute is basically based on the z-score and p-value. The z-score and p-values are measures of statistical significance which tell you whether or not to reject the null hypothesis feature by feature. Okay, because each feature has a p-value here and z-score. So what it indicates is that whether the apparent similarity, a spatial clustering of either high or low value, that is the clustering, or dissimilarity, a spatial outlier, okay, is more pronounced than one would accept in a random distribution. This is the the hypothesis. So the p-value and z-score in the output feature class, here it does not reflect any false discovery rate here, any correction, because we have not updated. So what happens? A high positive z-score, a high positive z-score, this is in negative, high positive. High positive z-score is what? High positive z-score is it indicates that the surrounding features have similar values, whether high or low. So if you will see this one, here, the CO type is high, and here you can see the result which is given high, means the area is high and surrounded by the urban centers which have higher area, larger area. This is the result which we have here in this color. And not only high, it may be lower also. You can see here there are some centers given, and these centers have, suppose the center is having a smaller area and surrounded with the urban centers of low area only. So it depends on the z-score. Okay, if your z-score values are higher, positive, then it's a cluster type. And if a low negative z-score, then what it will be there? It indicates that it is statistically significant spatial data for outlier. Outlier means it will indicate that either means the higher value surrounded by lower values, or lower values are surrounded by high values. Okay, so and that is for if z-score is negative here. So these are what is the CO type is low values are surrounded by higher values, or higher values are surrounded with lower values. Here lower values are surrounded with higher values. So these are the lower values but surrounded by higher values. Here means the urban centers are having the selected features are the lower area, smaller area, but surrounded with higher urban centers of higher area. And yeah, this is showing in blue color. Similarly, in the higher values may also be surrounded with lower values. We can find a town, suppose this is the town here, and we can see the name also, Debre Marcos. Debre Marcos is surrounded with smaller areas of town here. This is Debre Marcos. So this is good to know about the cluster and outlier analysis. But very important thing is that when you are doing analysis, be sure that what is the conceptualization of the spatial relationship here. I have made the videos on this very topic. You can search in my YouTube channel, and what I will suggest you is because inverse distance is good for the data which is continuous in nature. This data is not continuous. This is the discrete data. So what you can do is for better result, here you can get a spatial weight from file, and you need a file. First of all, you can create a file. And how you can create a file? There is a tool, that is the modeling spatial relationship, generate spatial weight matrix. When you will generate the spatial weight matrix here, what you will do is you will give your data. So what you can do is this data you can save to your any drive, and when you will save it into the drive you can access from here, I have saved it in some okay, I have saved it in a folder, and in this folder the name is okay, something like this, and the unique ID is, because this is not the data I need, but you can save it and you can use it here. So here when you will give the here you can give the k nearest neighbors, and you can give the number of neighbors here, and you can generate the file, and that thereafter you can use the same file in cluster and outlier analysis tool. So you can do it again and again, and you can observe by yourself that how is your result, and thereafter this result is going to help you for the urban planning, for the regional planning and development. Which are the urban centers which have the smaller area but surrounded with larger area, or what are the urban centers, the larger urban centers which are surrounded with the smaller areas, like that. So this was all about the this video here, and we learned the cluster and outlier analysis, and in the next video we will learn something more. So thanks for watching.